Much improved from the service line, and the block and defense showed a lot of progress too. So the blocking is a big priority for us in our training gym and something we've talked about building on, and I thought today was excellent. And it even wasn't great in the first set, and then it just kept improving, and you could tell we were really close. So happy with the adjustments from the service line and up at the net, and overall happy to be 3-0 after the first weekend.
Coach, how would you assess Skylar's debut this weekend
Yeah.
in black and gold?
Yeah, she did excellent. Saw her get into a little bit better groove from the service line today, and that's a big weapon to have back there. She also was really impactful at the net, blocking as well as passing. So she just does so many things and impacts the game in so many ways. I was really excited to see her out there and happy with the performance.
And what will the main focus of practice be this week going into the 305?
Yeah, I think we got a little loose with our swings there at the end. We're going to make some errors, but I didn't think we were in really good positions there to take the kinds of swings we wanted, so we got to be a little bit more judicious with that stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and I think we got to continue with the block and the serving. We can't just look at one match and think we've solved the riddle. We're going to have to continue to work on that as we go.
So out of all 3 games this weekend, which do you think the team can learn the most from?
Yeah, it's interesting because they were all so unique. I thought Riverside plays the most straight up volleyball, where the others have some unorthodox things that are happening out there. And so it's really not shocking to see that the blocking would show up in a setting like this, but we're going to have to be able to adapt a little bit quicker to some of those other things. So yeah, I think that probably tonight, so that they could get a sense of what we're capable of at the net and how we can disrupt hitters, because Riverside up to that point had been really successful scoring the ball against the other 2 teams. So we did a good job bottling that up.
What sort of improvements have you seen from your athletes from the start of the weekend to the end of this game?
Yeah, the serving thing is a big part of it. I think we've managed, I didn't really get a close look. Again, we've played the last 2 matches, we've only been aced 3 times, maybe 4 total for the weekend. That makes life a lot easier when you're not giving up points and you're getting an opportunity for your offense to run. So definitely a point of emphasis in the practice gym. Good to see it carry over here.
This is your third win. How are you going to keep UCF winning?
I'm sorry?
This is your third win.
Yeah. I think we just got to continue to prepare, do the right things in the gym, make sure that they're taking care of themselves physically and mentally, and that we're helping aid in that process. But now we go into week 2. There's more information about the opponents that we're going to see, where first week is always a challenge because it's a real limited sample size, and in the instance of Chattanooga, you go in there essentially blind. So more information, more work for the coaches, hopefully get some information that's going to be valuable to us down at FIU.
The double-digit number of blocks there for you. Just what was it like?
Yeah.
What were you seeing there at the front of the net? And Reagan won off her career high.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it was getting close, and even yesterday it was getting close. And the timing, you were just a tad bit early. We just weren't pressing quite at the time that we needed to, but it was going to happen. I'm glad it happened tonight so we can carry that over. But yeah, from the sidelines, when you're really far off or where you're just a split second away, and we've been pretty close all weekend. We figured it out today.
How will you define success next weekend?
I mean, we want to win every match we play, so obviously our progress, but I think the biggest thing is that we compete in every single opportunity we have and put ourselves in position to win. And now we know that nobody's going to go undefeated throughout a year, but are we in position to win at the end of games and the ends of matches? And that's the expectation for us all the time.
What's the biggest thing you learned about this team this weekend?
I think they're very coachable. I think they are eager. And I think there are some different spots where, when turned up, we have the ability to impact our opponents in different ways. Tonight, you saw it blocking, service line. The other 2 days, it was really side out and our ability to run offense inside out. So that is a good feeling to have as a coach, because we're going to have to lean on different pieces at different times.
With how you've played the freshmen this weekend, how would you assess their performance, and what could we maybe see a little more out of them later on?
Yeah, I think you're trying to get the jitters out and see them get comfortable, and that's not an easy ask. So I thought the older players, the ones that have experience, did a really good job helping them out in those moments and talking them through it. But there's a lot of talent there, but they're just like everything. You've got to get used to the pace. Michaela did a great job in her opportunities, and Lexi got some opportunities out there as well. The other DSs have been really stable throughout the weekend. So a lot to take away, and I can tell you this, we don't hand out playing time just to be nice. If we think somebody has the ability to help us win, we're going to want to give them opportunities to showcase that, and that's why those girls were playing.
What do you expect the biggest challenges to be next weekend?
I think we're going to face more physical teams. I think we're going to face teams that are a little bit more steady from each phase of the game. Where there were matches here where these teams had clear strengths in one side, these are teams that are going to be strong all the way throughout. So that means that we're going to have to be really clean in the same way.
You do have Miami coming up in that 305, huge test for that.
Yeah.
How have these games kind of leading up to that, what's Miami going to really do for you? What's the biggest thing you would look for in a match like that?
Well, what I'm looking for, those are all opportunities for us. We want to play in the NCAA. You need to get some wins against some high RPI teams. Miami's going to do very well. They've been an NCAA tournament team for quite some time. We're very familiar with them. So it's going to be a challenge, but I look at it as an opportunity. That's something you want on your resume as you get into December for the selection show. So we're going to try to do everything we can. Not just them. The other teams there are going to have talented players too, and they've got similar goals. So when the pressure is on in those moments, who's going to be able to compete and position themselves the best?
Excited to take a trip back down to South Florida?
Yeah, I spent 5 years at the University of Miami, and obviously played them quite a bit in my time at FGCU. So it's always nice to go back, but it's more fun coming home with wins. So hopefully that'll be the case.
What's the biggest thing the team needs to do in order to come back with those wins?
I think it's just consistency, and that's everybody. That's not just UCF. At this time of the year, you've got to start fine-tuning some lineups. You've got to be able to play the game consistently for a longer duration than the other teams. There's going to be ebb and flow to everything, but the teams that kind of can function at that center line a little bit more often are typically the ones at this time of year that are going to have success.
Awesome.
All right.
Best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.